Good morning. Welcome to another week. We're getting the grain cart out. Let's go to the field. I'm just kidding. But we are getting some equipment moved around. Phil wants to get the air seeder out and start working on that. So we got to get this out of the way. We've got to get our disc ripper out of the shop. We've got spraying to do. We've got tillage to do this week, and harvest might start by the end of the week. It, however, rained this morning again, which is good and bad. It's good because I planted grass a week ago at my house and it was getting pretty crusty and hard on top, and this rain will help that. And it's going to turn green. It is starting to turn green. It's bad because we don't really need it for our crops. We've got field work that needs to be done, and the crops are finished. We didn't need this rain, and it's going to delay things, and it's at risk of making us have a nice, long, wet fall harvest again like we had last year, which is not ideal. We ended up with almost an inch last night, a little over 9/10. I would prefer not to get any more rain for a while. Alright, so we got the cart out of there. Phil's going to try and get this air seeder out. I don't think there is any way it's going to come out of there without moving that bean head. So I'm going to go get a truck and pull that out of there. But we shouldn't have to take the corn head out. He's currently getting the 8430 unhooked from the small scraper that Dad's got, so he can hook it up to this. We're going to plant wheat with the 8430. So let's go find a tractor. We've got to get that traveler put away today. Sprayer we're going to use this week as soon as it dries out. So we're just shuffling some stuff around today. Pulling the bean head out, trying really hard not to hit the combine. Oh yeah, we made it. Just gonna pull this out of the way. Well, Dad moved some stuff out of the way in the barn back here. Looks like he swept the floor up a little bit. Should get my floor sweeper back here and clean it up again, but we're gonna put the irrigation reel in right over here. See how we do. Alright, I guess we're ready to do that. We should clean off the platform. I think there's some tools and stuff on there that we don't need to leave set there. There's a little bit of stuff there, but most of it stays. We're going to pull that battery off of there. See what else we can. Dad's here to help me back this in here, so we'll back it in and then we'll worry about it. Okay, I think that will work. We got it sticking back plenty far. Could have got over a foot or so, but it'll be alright. That'll work. Get her unhooked here. See what else we got sitting right here. Most of this is all stuff for the traveler. We take this hitch pin and that battery. The other thing I want to do is start the motor up without it reeling in, obviously, because it's all the way in, and shut the fuel off and let it run it self-empty so we don't store fuel in it. I dumped a little of that sea foam in the gas tank. There's very little in there, and I just shut the valve off on the motor. And it should die here in a second. Any second. Maybe. Maybe. Oh. There it goes. Alright, well, that should be good. We need a wrench to take the leads off from our battery there. That was powering up our Farm HQ box. That, yeah, it worked really well, but we're done with it now. Alright, we got that sprayer and that wagon put back in here, and well, that stuff probably won't move too much between now and March. We'll park this somewhere. We'll back that 7520 in here because we might as well put it inside. Oh, we got that blue wagon, that blue tank. Let's put that blue tank away. Oh, we've got the cart hooked up and I pushed it back in here. I should have turned that front track. I might do that a little bit. I hit our tongue on our corn head cart with the back of the track. I kind of ran right up it and I smashed this down. We're going to have to fix that, dang it. Oh well. I didn't catch the edge. I caught it right in the flat. I was not paying attention to that. I was worried about hitting this on the back one, but oh well. All right, well, that's better. We still got the bean head to put back in there yet. I'll worry about that later. Dad had to run some errands, and when he gets back, him and I are going to go to Berkey and try and wrap up this electrical project on the grain bins down there. So we'll do that. In the meantime, I've got to get a new setup file for the 2630 and the 8430 that we're going to plant wheat with. Make sure all the fields and equipment is accurate. All right, Dad and I made it down here to Berkey. Finish up this wiring project. Let me show you where he's at and what he's gotten done. So refresher in case you haven't followed along, but we put a new burner up there. We're switching it out. The old one was on the 220 volt single phase line power, and we have got a three-phase 480 volt burner. So we had to run new wire and conduit. We came from our old shed over to here, so he's got these two conduits that come in through the ceiling, and one goes all the way down here to our three-phase panel, and he's got the breaker put in there. I'm sure that I won't be able to open that with one hand, but there's a breaker in there that's drawing power from the generator. So the power side is good. The other one comes over here to our control circuit. We've got 6 wires that come in here for the controls, so that's all hooked up. And we also had to have a thermostat to control grain temperature. So we bought a new one. We think this is going to work. The problem with it was it came with a 7.5 foot long lead to get this grain temperature sensor. This has to go in the bin. But it says in the directions that the sensor can be lengthened by up to 400 feet by appropriately splicing and adding additional cable, 22 gauge or larger. So the plan here is we pulled this wire. This is actually, I don't know, it's thermostat wire or what, but it's got 4 22 gauge conductors in it, wires in it. And so we're gonna probably try and double it up and then splice that in this box. So we'll run this in there, pull this one out, splice them together there, and then we'll take the temperature sensor end of that cable and run it up in the bin. We've got to run a little bit of conduit in there yet, and then we'll make some splices and connections up in there. So Dad's got that other wire comes out right up there by the bin, and so that's most of what we've got left to do with the wiring. And we've got to connect a gas line. So that's where we're at. So a lot of what we got to do starts up in the bin and getting that sensor and some conduit run. So we're up on the burner platform. Dad put a nice piece of flexible conduit to go in there for all the control wires and the power wires. Right? Oh no, that's just power wires. Power's coming out of the safety disconnect up here, so when you're up here working on it, you can shut it off and nobody can start it up from down below. This is our control wires. This is that one that goes to that box. And here's what we've got coming out, and we've got to finish this conduit up, go into the bin, into the grain chamber. All right, we are crawling in this bin. Can you guys see? So here's what we've got. That conduit right there is the old temperature controller, and it's just kind of hanging there. And you see right there, that's the end of the temperature sensor. So not that we need to be in the exact same spot, but we're going to try and get to a similar location. But we're going to come in the bin wall over here. So somewhere over here is where that burner is, and if we want to shoot that same angle, I guess we need to drill somewhere right in here maybe. I don't know, what do you think? All right, we're gonna drill a hole right here, and then we're gonna figure out how to connect the conduit, so. Well, that was good. Anyway, we got our hole. Okay, so there's our hole. We need to get a file and clean up the edges. So now we got to get a conduit from here into there, which I think Dad has for me. We also got to connect this gas line, so I took the old one off. We rotated this up 90 degrees instead of sticking straight out this way because it's a straighter shot, so we're going to try that. Okay, conduit's connected out here and in the bin. Now we got to work in there. Alright, we've made a supply list and it's time to go get lunch. We need just a couple of box connectors to finish getting it all ready. Alright, we're back. We got our supplies. Should have everything that we need. So I'm going to try and make these connections so we can have our end of our sensor that we need. Okay, I should have showed you before I covered it up, but that connections are made. This should be good. There is a spot for a ground in there, so we're just going to ground it to the conduit here, which is grounded to everything else. Dad was going to let me see if he had a better connector, but that would work if we don't. I should have everything I need for in the bin, in this bucket, and that piece of strut right there, and we'll see if we can get the other end of this connected. All right, it is quite warm in here now. Can you guys see okay? I should make it a wider screen. But we need to secure this so it's not flopping all over the place. So the plan is to use this strut and clamp it. Ooh, I don't know if this is gonna work like I want it to. I gotta do a little figuring, but that's the plan. All right, I got everything loose fitted here. We just gotta get bolts tightened up, which is easier said than done. Working on this sloped floor is quite difficult. Okay, we need another piece of conduit, and I gotta figure out how long I want. Looks like about 30 inches. Will do what I need. This is our sensor cable that we need to be, yeah, we got 5.5 feet there, so we have plenty. We can trim it if we need to. All right, gotta get a piece of conduit. Now, the important part here is not dropping the screws. We gotta get this cover off. Dad's gonna push the wires into me. Once I do, have I mentioned it's hot in here? It's hot in here. Don't drop the screw, don't drop the screw. All right, Dad. Can you push them in?
Trying, but it won't. There.
I got it.
Oh,
Okay. Thank you.
shrink tube.
What?
You want the shrink tube?
Oh, I'm gonna need it, but not just yet.
Done with the drill?
Yeah. All right, now we gotta get our conduit put on here. There we go. All right. Before we put that up, this is our end. We got a cord connector and then a conduit connector, so we're gonna go ahead and put this on now. Hopefully, once again, without dropping anything. There we go. Okay. Now this goes on here. Okay. This. What goes in there? Come on. There. Okay. Now, we've got to figure out how to secure this a little bit. Way high. Alright, so I'm looking at that one right there and where that sensor is. And we're down by this band, not up by this band. So I feel like we need to bend our conduit a little bit and get it down to here. Sorry, you're too close, but I think we need to bend our conduit. Easier said than done, especially up here. But we want it to be as close to the same spot as the old one as possible so that our temperature settings are similar. All right, we got a bend put in our conduit here to get it right down to this. And we're gonna tie that on there somehow. That one's hanging, but we're gonna do something similar to that. Just tie it to the bottom one, and then I zip tied, or I screwed the temperature probe to this band. This band is a leveling band. It's meant to keep the corn level as it flows down. And I realize having the actual temperature sensor attached to a metal ring is maybe not the best, but it's all gonna be relatively the same temperature as the grain around it. And the actual temperature that it is doesn't really matter. It just, the way that these dryers work, when you get up to a certain temperature, the grain is dry, but it's not. So like in this dryer where that probe has always been like 98, maybe 100 degrees grain temperature, the whole batch is dry. And the other top dryer that we have, it's like 116 degrees, and it's all about where that probe is within the grain chamber up here. So we're trying to match it so that it's somewhat similar, but it doesn't have to be the same. We just have to recalibrate our thinking so that we can program it the same. Once we figure out what temperature it is that means the grain is dry, it'll be the same every time. Anyway, that's good. So we just got to make our connections, stuff them up in that box there, and put our cover on. And then we're about done here. Okay, we got our wiring connections made, box closed up. All we got to do is secure the end of this cable so it's not, or conduit, so it's not flopping around there. So I think Jack's getting me something. I also need to caulk up my hole down there on the bin wall. So I got some caulk here. We'll go push that shut and get our tools out of here. There, the whole band moves a little bit, but at least it's secured to something and not flopping around, and I think that'll work. Put a zip tie on there to secure the cord a little bit, and we should be good up here. Got our hole caulked up. I'm heading out, and I'm not coming back in here. It is a real pain climbing through these bands. You gotta push this one in, kind of step over it, and secure your foot against it, and then come down and reach for the lid here, and then my other foot gets stuck. I gotta wiggle it out. There. Okay, Dad went to go buy me some water because it's hotter than heck up here. When he gets back, the only thing we have left to do is get a gas line hooked up. I don't know if he wants to do that today or not. All right, we went and got a gas line, so we just got to finish hooking this up. We got our Teflon on there. Get that spun in. And we're double checking wiring here, making sure that everything is hooked up the way we think it's supposed to be, and I think we get to try it. We'll see. Okay, well, after some diagnostics and trying to figure out, making sure, we changed a couple of wires around, think we're good, and we're going to try it now. We have not tried it yet, but we got our power on. This dial here should control our high-low fire. It's a dual stage. So we got the gas line hooked up. Gas valve is open here. We got to open the gas valve down low and probably out on the tank as well. Fire up our generator. We probably won't be able to get it all set up, but we should at least be able to tell if it's going to run or not. Let's see if that one's open. I don't know which one goes to where. We're going to assume it's the smaller one. Do it nice and slow. Pressurizes the line without blowing everything out or popping the safety shut off. The bigger line comes over here to this burner. Yeah, that's definitely the bigger one. All right, we got another valve open. Uh-oh.
You gotta have an auto or a run?
No, it should be on a run. Here's our last gas valve. Okay, now we gotta get our generator to start. Circuit breaker. It's on. Okay.
Top is it?
I flipped that handle.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on. Well, it should go, I guess. Well, we're gonna see what happens here. Ready? Oh boy.
Going right way. I don't know if it's going right way. It's going the wrong way.
Stop button doesn't work. Our burner was turning the wrong way, so we had to switch a couple of wires here, because in three-phase you switch any two of three wires and it reverses the direction of your motors. So now it's blowing the right way. All the dust is blowing out of the manhole cover that we've got open there. We're not getting any fire. I'm not sure why. All right, we never got fire, but it's 5 o'clock and I want to go home, so we'll have to do some diagnostics later. But something's not quite hooked up right. We'll figure it out. Oh, all right. Dad and I just got back to Waldron here. It's 6:30, so I'm going home. I got a couple of little odds and end errand things that I need to do tonight. I'm still working on a schedule for the rest of the week. I'm hoping to go to the farm show tomorrow. Farm Science Review down in London, so that'd be on Tuesday, but 2 of the 3 guys that I had asked if they wanted to go with me can't go tomorrow. Actually, 3 of the 4 if you count Brock. So I got one more buddy that I'm hoping is going to go with me. If he can't go tomorrow, I'll probably go down on Wednesday. Dad could go with me, and we might get some other people then. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll see what else is going on. We've got a little more wiring to figure out there on that burner. The fact that the fan ran is good. The fact that the burner did not fire is not. But it may be as simple as 2 wires are in the wrong spot and we just flip them. It may be something more involved than that. So I need to do some diagnostics with the wiring diagram and really try and figure it out, which might take me a little bit, but we'll get it figured out. So other than that, we've got spraying to do, we've got tillage to do. We just need it to dry up a little bit. Oh, let's go out and look at my grass. So we got some rain overnight. It's starting to dry off now a little bit, but look, it's grass. We got a lot of buttonweeds and other stuff that's coming. They will die as soon as we mow it. It's no big deal, but it's turning green. I don't know how even it's going to be. It looks like the seed may have washed and congregated a little bit, but it is filling in, and I expect now that we've softened this crust up for a lot of it to pop up in the next couple of days while it's still warm here. So it's getting better. It's getting there. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. And maybe a farm show tomorrow. That one would be exciting. If you happen to be watching this, you're at the farm show, you see me down there, say hi. Oh, this is a good one. Anyway, we'll see you guys later.